the Zangezur Corridor. The Zangezur Corridor is there in the South Caucasus mountain range. It is now, I would say, the area of concern between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Armenia and Azerbaijan have been at conflict with each other since long. And the equation was like this. If I draw the map, this is Turkey, this is Armenia, and here is Azerbaijan. Okay. And here is Iran. This is how it is. And a territory in Armenia. Azerbaijan claims control over this territory, and for this territory only these two were fighting. However, the conflict is over, and this territory for which these both countries were fighting has been Armenia has agreed to hand over this territory to Azerbaijan. Okay. So this territory is known as Nakhchivan. But now this territory has been handed over to Azerbaijan. And handing over this territory to Azerbaijan has ended the conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Armenia was being supported by Iran as well as India. Azerbaijan was being supported by Turkey. This is the equation you need to understand. Turkey, Azerbaijan, Armenia, India, Iran. Now, this Zangezur Corridor is this particular piece of land over here, through which Azerbaijan wants access to this territory, that is Nakhchivan. And if this happens, it is going to block Iran's access to Armenia and then to Europe via Armenia. If this happens, it is going to block India's route via Iran. Chabahar port banaya Iran mein bhai India ne. So we want to take full utilization, we want to make full utilization of that Chabahar port to Iran, then to Armenia, and then to Europe from here. We want to bypass the Suez Canal like this. So this Zangezur Corridor is going to be a problem. We'll better understand this topic through maps. So this Zangezur Corridor is in South Caucasus, Transcaucasia. It is called as a vital region for bridging Eastern Europe and West Asia. It is home to Armenia, Georgia and Azerbaijan like countries. Recently, diplomatic moves like Armenia's Security Council Secretary visiting India and India's Operation Sindoor showing rising tensions over here. The Zangezur Corridor is at the heart of, I would say, tensions between Armenia and Azerbaijan. So let us see through the maps, we'll get to understand it in a better way. This is Iran. This is Turkey. This is Armenia. This is Azerbaijan. And this is this Zangezur Corridor. Zangezur Corridor, Armenia has authority over it. Armenia has jurisdiction over it. And this is that Nakhchivan, that territory which has been handed over to Azerbaijan. Now Azerbaijan wants to establish a connectivity route to Nakhchivan. And this connectivity route is this blue line which you are seeing. So this green line is existing rail line in Azerbaijan. This Horadiz, it is ending at Horadiz. Now from Horadiz, they want to, construct a new railway line which will pass through this portion of Zangezur Corridor and come to Ordubad in the Nakhchivan region. This is a 166 kilometer railway line built from Horadiz to Ordubad. And from here, Ordubad till Velidag, this line is already there in Nakhchivan. Okay. And from Velidag, they want to extend their connectivity to Turkey. So actually, Azerbaijan wants to get connected with Turkey by passing this portion of the railway through the Zangezur Corridor. Now, this is the point of conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Will this get resolved? We don't know. Turkey is in support of Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan has received weapons from countries like Pakistan, Turkey, the full support, and from Israel as well. Armenia has support of Iran, has support of India as well. So this is the equation you need to understand in this region. Here is Baku, the capital city of Azerbaijan. So what is the Zangezur Corridor? We know that this is the Zangezur Corridor, the portion over here, okay, which is, I would say, not letting Azerbaijan, or which is I would say an interim land between Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic and Azerbaijan. Nakhchivan is part of Azerbaijan. Now the disagreement, 2020 peace agreement between Armenia and Azerbaijan did give Azerbaijan access to Nakhchivan. Armenia's view, this means opening a road, but with Armenian customs and border controls. Armenia is saying that we can open a road, but that road will be having Armenian, custom control and borders control regime. Through our control, you can go. But Azerbaijan does not want that. It wants it to be a corridor without any Armenian customs or border control. This proposed route would cut through Armenia's southernmost province of Syunik, which shares a border with Iran. Azerbaijan's push after winning the Karabakh war. Azerbaijan has been strongly pushing for this corridor, even threatening to take it by force if needed. But Armenia is saying that you can use this, but through strict Armenian customs and border controls, through which Azerbaijan is not agreeing to. Now the regional power play, I've already discussed this. Turkey-Azerbaijan axis is there, strong partnership is there between Turkey, Azerbaijan, even Pakistan is part of it, part of this axis. Azerbaijan's military might, Azerbaijan won the Karabakh war in 2020 largely with Turkish weapons and military advice. It continues to boost its military with a budget of 3 times Armenia's, buying weapons from Turkey, Pakistan and Israel. Turkey's strategic ambition via Zangezur. Turkish President Erdogan calls Zangezur Corridor a strategic issue vital for Turkey-Azerbaijan ties. Obviously, Turkey would want free access to the Azerbaijanis through this Zangezur Corridor. It would give Turkey direct land access to Azerbaijan, Iran, the Caspian Sea and the Central Asian countries, linking to the Middle Corridor. It is an important east-west trade route in Central Asia. This would greatly boost Turkey's regional power and influence. Turkey has also opposed India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor, which starts from India, goes to UAE, then Saudi Arabia, then Jordan, then Israel, then Mediterranean Sea, and then Europe, like this. So we are bypassing Suez Canal, we are bypassing the dependence on Turkey. That is why Turkey opposes it. India's counter strategy, partnering with Iran and Armenia. So we know that Iran also does not want this, corridor to be under Azerbaijani control or Turkish control. Iran opposes it. We are with Armenia, so we are with Iran also. So to counter Turkey, Azerbaijan, Pakistan axis, India needs a strong partnership with Tehran, yani ki Iran, and Yerevan, yani ki Armenia. This trilateral cooperation is seen as vital. So to tackle Turkey, Pakistan, Azerbaijan nexus, we will have Iran, India and Armenia nexus. India-Armenia defense ties, they are rising. They have a defense partnership since 2020. Azerbaijan has openly expressed displeasure about India supplying weapons to Armenia. Crucially, some of these Indian weapons are believed to have been sent to Armenia through Iran. This flow of weapons through Iran confirms that practical trilateral cooperation, that is India, Iran, Armenia, is already happening. So it can lead to complications over there. Iran's firm opposition to Zangezur Corridor. Iran is firmly opposing it. Iran is strongly against this Zangezur Corridor. Reason number 1, loss of access. It will create a loss of access for Iran to, Armenia and then from there to Europe. So if I show you this, so this is Iran. Now if, this Zangezur Corridor, Azerbaijan establishes a route to Nakhchivan, Iran's access to Armenia will be blocked, and from Armenia it goes to Europe from here. So this is reason number 1. Reason number 2, border security concerns. Iran worries that it could encourage Azerbaijani claims on Iran's own region of Azerbaijan, called irredentist claims, potentially destabilizing its border. Though it has a lot of, it has border contentions with Azerbaijan, Iran. तो भाई it will increase Azerbaijan's claim if the Zangezur Corridor is handed over to Azerbaijan. So Iran's defense minister has given a clear statement that shared border with Iran and Armenia is a historic route, and Iran will not allow any encroachment on its border. So this is there. So what is at stake for India? Obviously crucial trade routes. Chabar port we have constructed, so we want another trade route through the Chabar port to enter Armenia and then from there to Europe. So we want to take full potential of it. But if this Zangezur corridor goes under Azerbaijani control, so then definitely that will be impacted. India's preferred route to Europe, the Chabar port combined with the route through Armenia, offers India's shortest multimodal route to the Black Sea and Europe, which is going to be impacted. And it is not going through Turkey, though Turkey is definitely not happy about it. Bypassing conflict zones like Suez Canal and all, we will bypass if we connect through this route. And the Zangezur corridor, if implemented as Azerbaijan wishes, could severely disrupt this vital Indian trade route, because Azerbaijan then is not going to allow India to go through that. Neither Iran will be allowed to go through that route. Countering regional influence, Turkey and Azerbaijan are actively expanding their presence, including in South Asia. India needs to counter this by strengthening its presence over there. Policy imperative, upholding territorial integrity. To achieve its goals in the region, India must support territorial integrity of countries in South Caucasus like Armenia. So that should be upheld.